Welcome back to episode 106 of Tall Boy Radio. Now, there's just the one Tall Boy tonight, as unfortunately Gaz is still struggling with his broken collarbone, and Andy is struggling with a sick Labrador, I think it is. I apologise for not knowing what breed, Sophie, if you ever get to listen to this one. So, before I'm just going to go straight in there and introduce our two guests. I'll tell you what I'm drinking first. I'm drinking a beer that seems appropriate for tonight, given the name. It is Northern Monk's Rapscallion. It seemed appropriate having these two guys on the show. And it is a 5.7 orange zesty IPA. So, do you guys want to say hello? Who wants to say hello first?
I'll do it. Big Tiddy here. And I've got my Bloody Mary, of course. That's how I normally get down. I'm not a beer guy, especially not an IPA guy. Hops tend to make me pucker. There's a.
It took no time at all to take a left turn in this. We're like 107 seconds into it, and bam.
Yeah, we probably forgot Shiner. God dang.
Oh, by the way, my name is Shiner McShine. Let me welcome myself to this party. I'm actually drinking Dr. Pepper, but we had medicinal marijuana in Oklahoma, so I've had to medicate myself a little bit this afternoon.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of medication, the first thing we have to address then is Big Tiddy. How are you feeling? Because you've not been too good, have you, recently?
Yeah, I caught the COVID, and we haven't recorded an episode in almost a month, and it's just because COVID. And I've got the Omicron version, right? I've got the one that's supposed to be just the most mellow. Well, I am vaccinated, and still got it just like everybody else who didn't get vaccinated. So my deal is I wound up catching pneumonia from it, and once that pneumonia set in, I went downhill pretty quick. I got to experience what it's like to be Shiner. For a month.
Fight for every breath you can get.
Boy,
Yeah.
wheezing ain't easy, man. That's for sure.
No.
Get a breathing treatment machine about 10 times a day. Let's see what else. When you get up and you walk to your car to go to work, and then you get to your car, it's about 50 feet. You got to take a break and lean against the car and breathe. Get your oxygen level back up so you can open the damn door and get in. And once you get in, it takes you a second to get everything capitulated in there, and then you take off and you go to work. And the drive is just fine. Obviously, there's no effort in the drive, and it takes me about an hour. But once I get there, my walk from my car to my office, and I'm ready to hit the damn breathing machine again. Just like.
So you worked through it all then, even with pneumonia, you were going into work?
That was, well, no. There was a couple of weeks I took off work. I was pretty sick. At the point that I hit 50%, I decided to go back to work. Probably a little foolish, but maybe it wasn't. I'm a firm believer in staying upright as much as you can, especially if you have pneumonia.
Yeah.
To have the ability to cough it out and get it up and get it going.
Don't turn this into a medical class, dude. We don't need treatment options here. We're not treating anybody, bro.
Dude, I'm just saying COVID's real.
Oh, dude, I'm surprised actually that we talked as much shit for as long as we did about COVID, and one of us didn't get it just because karma caught up with us. I'm surprised we made it that long before. And dude, we've talked on our show. There's a high probability that we had it in my house. Right before the pandemic actually started to break out, and the nurse was just sick a few weeks ago. I mean, she worked her way through it, and just like her days off would be where she tried to recharge. But I fully believe she probably had the Omicron version when those days. I'm just like, man, it's what everybody says. We get messages talking about, you guys think COVID is a conspiracy. we've never said that a virus doesn't exist. It obviously exists. We've just said there's a lot of fallout from it that's a little bit shady, you know. But did you see the New York Times article that was published?
No.
I can't remember who did the study, but the New York Times published an article and said that so-and-so did a study and concluded that unvaccinated people are less likely to contract COVID, any of its variants, or be hospitalized. And I'm like, there it is. I mean,
that's starting to come out in the pudding that if you've got natural immunity, the natural immunity is kicking the shots down. So
that's it. And I think that's what a lot of people are banking on. Now here in the UK, it's actually the tide is starting to turn, you know.
Yeah. When your dude's in trouble, throwing parties, and he just decides, you know what? F it. Everybody take your mask off. It's cool.
Hey, it works for me. I don't, you know, I'm not Boris Johnson's biggest fan, but we need to keep that guy in place because actually this is the most sensible he's been in the last 2 years. So yeah, we like all the masks are off. You don't need any sort of vaccine passport to get in anywhere. You can just go anywhere freely now, anywhere in the UK. And as of March, so next month, if you get it and you're not too ill, you can go into work. You know, literally, we're told to treat it. Listen to this, you're gonna like this one. To treat it almost as though it were like the flu or a bad cold.
Hang on. What have I been saying for the last?
This is it.
Sure.
Yeah, this is it.
Just that. I mean, dude, it's crazy to. Was there, you know, I don't know. I can't remember which country it was. There was a country that didn't do anything. There was no social distancing. They didn't do anything. And they've had the lowest rate of COVID on the face of the planet.
Sweden. Yeah, Sweden. That's exactly what they did. They just, you know, they got involved at first and then thought, nah.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, and just didn't get involved. Australia went in a very different direction.
Yeah, but then you got to think, though, it almost makes sense. You know, the country where you pay the highest taxes imaginable doesn't get COVID.
Right.
Yeah, it's expensive to live there. It is expensive to live there. But also in the UK, we've heard over the last couple of days as well, you like this one, Shiner, that they're removing the vaccine mandate for NHS workers. So if you are on the NHS front line, that's going. That is something they're removing. Yeah, they're repealing that one.
Well, see, and there's been a ruling in this country that if OSHA, which is our big giant safety organization here, they came out and said if you have adverse side effects from taking the vaccine, then you are able to sue your employer if they made you take it. But you know, now it's like, can they work their way up? Can they sue the federal government for you know, since Biden put all this ridiculous stuff? I mean, you can't sue Biden, but you know, I mean,
I'm not sure he'd know if you did.
I told Tiddy that guy was on TV and referred to how nice it was with the White House in Florida. I'm like, can we just admit this guy's got some cognitive problems going on? Like everybody just tries to ignore it. And I'm like, how can you ignore this?
Let me ask you, Beans, what is your honest, just heartfelt opinion of Biden and America in this situation going on?
Well, listen, it's difficult because if you look at let's take a look at the last guy first. So Trump, though obviously, you know, the media had an opinion and an agenda against that guy, didn't they? Let's be honest, you know.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and whether looking from the UK on him, it was like, do you know what? We could see your economy growing. We could see everything. And you'd read his tweets and the stuff that was coming out of his mouth. And that was a little bit of a concern. We couldn't say anything because we had Boris Johnson doing, well, you've just seen what Boris Johnson's been doing for the last couple of years. But then you got Biden in. And obviously there's the questions about electoral fraud. I can't speak on that because, you know, you guys will have seen it a little bit closer than I have. But, you know, I'd like to trust the process, but everything I've seen in the last 2 years tells me I can't trust anybody who's anything to do with politics. In terms of Biden, though, you know, the stuff that he doesn't get reported in the UK either. So the strange stuff that he gets said, it's literally only seen on social media, and then you get all like the comments sort of saying this isn't fake, this video's been edited. I don't know. I mean, it's a concern for me. My thought was all along that Biden was there as a trusted pair of hands, somebody that the American voters were familiar with, just literally to get Trump out of the way. And then give it 2 years. I thought Harris would have been in by now, truthfully. I thought, she'd have been stepping up, health concerns that he'd have had to step down. But, that's the way I thought it was going. And maybe it would have done.
I don't know if that's what I thought too. That's what I thought they would definitely try to pull. But supposedly they've had people that were high up in that party that have jumped ship and talked about what's going on in the party right now. And apparently they don't want to remove Biden because they don't think Harris is smart enough to do anything. So
Camel Toe Harris has turned out to be a dumbass. Literally a dumbass.
Well, you never hear about her. Like, I forget she's the vice president sometimes.
That's why she doesn't get interviewed, because she says stupid stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and she's really easy for them to, like, they'll ask a question and she doesn't keep her composure very well. Like, she'll snap off real quick at them, Yeah. Well, you guys probably didn't see in the UK that Biden has announced he's not going to seek re-election. And he wants to fist fight Trump on the schoolyard.
No, we didn't see that. To be honest, though, it's the same over here. You don't hear anything of Harris. The only time I ever see Harris mentioned is on Johnny Simo's Facebook page.
Man, Simo's on a bunch of watch lists. I mean, the government is tapped into that dude hardcore, man.
Oh,
if Simo walks into Washington, D.C., he's probably, especially if he flies in, he's probably going to get held at the airport.
Yeah.
And you know what? Good for you, Johnny.
Yeah. More power to you, brother. Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't even know where he finds all that stuff. I don't have the time in a day to find half of that. And man, I'm just like, every time my phone alerts, I'm like, oh, I guess Simo posted again. Sure enough, 85% of those notifications, Simo's got something hilarious. Dude, he posted one this morning and coffee just all over my dining table because I can't handle it sometimes. I'm like, man, it is just too early to give me these things.
It is funny. It is fun. We've got them on the show in a couple of weeks' time. Actually, we got Todd and Johnny back on.
Those two.
Yeah, we'll be sure to remind him this time that it's actually going on YouTube as well.
That's probably in the top 3 funny Simo moments of all time. I mean, he's that. The day he was messaging me videos when he found that cat in the road and he thought it was dead, and he's texting me and he's like, this and that. He's like, hold on, and then he tells me that no, we were sending videos. And he's on the way to work and he's like, hold on, and he said, there's a dead cat in the road, I'm gonna move it. Then he comes back on the video and he's moaning and groaning in agony, and he's going, oh, that son of a bitch, oh, that son of a bitch, oh my god, oh, that's he jumped up, and he's telling me the story about this cat just coming alive and just jacking him up. And so then I'm like, oh my god, and it's got like a whole Blair Witch feeling to it when you watch it. And then the next video is him at work, and he's pulled his jeans down, and his leg is just scratched and all inflamed, and it's swelling everywhere. And he's talking about this cat. When the day progresses, the town is on the lookout for this cat because it's just running around town, fucking people up. And so, and I'm getting videos updating me all along the way. And then finally, somehow they corner it in this like maintenance shed at this apartment building. and firefighters go in, and I guess it chases firefighters out because this thing's just like a rabid cat, literally, because Johnny had to go get rabies shots.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh yeah, and they finally I can't remember. He just reminded me of this not too long ago. But like, they they end up killing the cat, and then they're taking it for testing, and like the animal control officer has Johnny identify the cat by a picture of its head.
Oh,
It's something crazy like that. I'm not sure if that's the exact detail on the end, but it was the funniest set of videos, and that's how I kind of introduced Tiddy to Simo. I showed him these videos, and he's like, "This guy is the funniest guy I've ever seen in my life."
I have never laughed harder in my life. Well, I guess I did, because when Johnny went in and retold the story, then it was even funny. But yeah, I could only imagine, just Johnny, what did that cat look like? Well, something like this.
Hey, man, that cat messed him up so bad. Oh man, he was messed up.
And I don't know about you, Beans. Growing up, we used to have these little things, and it looked like it was a lemon, is what it was, like a lemon, tethered to a hoop that you put around your ankle, and you swing it around and jump it with your other leg. That's what he was doing with that damn cat.
That's what was happening with that cat.
Yeah, we had those.
He's playing skip rope with a rabid cat.
We'll have to get his version of events. So when we get him back on,
you have to get Johnny. He's got the most colorful story about it, and it kind of traumatized him, because you can tell it kind of takes him back in a moment, and messes him up a little bit.
Now, I don't know if you've been looking at his pictures lately, but his Chevelle is looking.
Oh
yeah, that's gonna be a beautiful car.
The candy apple red coloring on it is it's the only color you can have those in, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Well, I have a guitar that's in possession of Simo right now, and he's shooting the guitar exactly like the car.
Oh yeah.
So he's going to throw some custom touches on it. I have no idea what those are. I do know the color. Obviously, I've seen the car.
Yeah.
The door jams and everything that he's done, because he did this right. I mean, that's his forte.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it looks nice.
But I can't wait to see that car. I mean, I love the fact that I'm going to have a guitar from this, but I still can't wait to see that car done.
We should fly out there when he's totally done with it, and shoot like a reveal video of it, so you get like a 45-second video of him revealing that car. That'd be kind of cool.
Maybe
then you could do what
in a front seat or something.
Yeah. Well, you could do a reveal with the guitar as well, because you pull that back and you see it's been painted like a box of Hot Pockets,
Oh God, there come the Hot Pockets again.
The Hot Pocket stories.
Good times, good memory.
Man, you put something on the internet, it's there forever, man. I mean,
it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It hangs around.
Yeah.
Speaking of stuff like that, hey, okay, so something came up. Well, I don't even remember how this came up. Oh yeah, I do. So they still have the Page 6 girls over there?
Oh, Page 3. No. They got rid of those a few years ago now.
Really?
Mm.
So yeah, we were talking the other day, and it turns out during Clinton's re-election campaign, she was in the Sun as a Page 3 or Page 6 girl, whatever they are.
Oh, Page 3. Oh, who's this? Sorry.
The nurse.
Oh, what? Seriously?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to try and dig that one out. I'm sure they're online somewhere.
It's Stars and Stripes as a theme. I mean, American. I mean, it's not hard to put together.
No, that's
in America, I was a Page 3 girl. What?
It's a big thing over here. Yeah, it still is. It still is. They're looked on very fondly.
Oh yeah, it came up because we were watching A&E's got that docu-series that they did about the secrets of Playboy. Man, if you guys haven't watched that, take the time to watch that, because that is insane, dude. The stuff that was happening within the Playboy organization.
Oh, the Hugh Hefner documentary?
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, I always it's like we were talking, everybody was always like, you always had this image in your head that the Playboy Mansion was like the most hedonistic place on the face of the planet. And then they would try to present it like, oh, it's just a little sexy time. It's not as bad as people think. Oh, it was every bit as bad as you thought. And then some. Like, I mean, that place was just insane. And the stuff they got away with. I mean, drugging women and keeping them for days. And like, I'm like, what? Like,
it's almost human trafficking in a way.
What's that?
Oh, it's almost human trafficking in a way.
That's how the nurse phrased it. Yeah. She was like, that's exactly how she phrased it. That it totally was trafficking.
That's terrifying. Yeah, like you say, there was a very positive spin put on it back then. But wow, yeah, no, I've not seen that.
It's very interesting, to see like how diabolical Hugh Hefner actually was. He had those three girlfriends of his had that show on VH1 or whatever. That main one named Holly. She's in the first couple of episodes, and man, you can tell it emotionally wrecked that girl. She's got some serious head issues.
I've read her autobiography, Holly Madison.
Yes.
Yeah, I read her autobiography. Yeah, she's pretty fucked up off it, to be honest.
For sure. And I'm like, man, how many lives did he ruin? I mean, everybody thought he was this philanthropist, and he was doing all this positive stuff, and. Dude, how many lives did he just wreck, with no regard for trying to make anything right?
Well, look at Epstein. Epstein, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if you could connect the dots between the two.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Well, there's been some pretty bad things perpetrated in the name of philanthropy over the last couple of years.
Boy, you ain't joking. I mean, one, and you guys. I mean, the royal family got even pulled into it. Yeah. I mean. Is that just like, was that a huge scandal, or was it just kind of touched on and moved on?
No. It was at first. It was glossed over. Then we had this interview on TV with him, with the newsreader Emily Maitlis, who was very sort of sympathetic. I think she's like a news reporter to him anyway, and sort of just almost accepted his answers as that's okay. Yeah, you obviously, you're a prince, but you weren't there because you were at Pizza Express or wherever he claimed he was, which is just ridiculous. And then obviously now the press have majorly turned against him when it's pretty obvious that the guy's guilty as hell. And
for sure.
Yeah, his tiles are getting stripped. Although he is still technically known as the Duke of York over here, and I think that'll get removed soon. But I'd like to see the guy sent down. I think that will send a message to everybody else that you just can't do it. That the royal family and what they've done over the previous year. I'm not a fan of the royal family. I mean, I'm very clear. So I'd like to see the dude sent down. I would, just to send a message like, if we can send this guy down, guess what? We'll come for you next. And I think
Harry and Meghan.
Yeah,
they need to make an example out of a handful of them, and I mean these. You hear it's like it's weird in the media here because they build up all this steam behind the stories, and then like you just get up one day and it's never mentioned again. You're like, why did they spend so much time building up to it, and then we don't hear anything else? And I don't know. I don't know if there's all kinds of conspiracy theories about the Illuminati and this secret underground child sex trafficking ring. I don't know. I mean, it's hard. You get to delving into it. I do think something very peculiar is going on. Like there's a lot of very weird instances that kind of point to there is something like that happening.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
But, as far as, they talk about, eating these children's, the cannibalism with these kids and stuff. I don't know if it goes that far, but, but I definitely, I saw a video and it was from one of the European countries. They sent a team of special operators up to this. It looked like it would be what I would think of here as being like an elementary school. It was a really bizarre building, but they entered that building and rescued a number of kids out of there. And then they took the camera through there, and they had all these rooms with these chains eye bolted to the walls. And it was weird. They had handcuffs that were little. And I was like, number one, who makes that and why? And number two, where does somebody find something like that? I mean, but it's just you just felt really ill by the time you got done watching it. Like, it's just stone cold proof that stuff does exist,
Yeah.
And I think it's easy for people to fool themselves and think it doesn't. At least here it is. I mean,
it's easier to pretend though you live in a world where something like that couldn't happen. You know what I mean? That your life is okay. And if your life is okay, then it's easy enough to pretend everybody else's life is okay, and you don't have to worry about it. You can go and watch your soap operas, and drink your beer, and everything's good with the world. But it isn't. It's as we keep completely get reminded of it, that it is a pretty nasty world that we live in. So
the FBI has said the vast majority of citizens here at some point in their life will encounter a serial killer, and you just don't know because they're so good at blending in, and so you don't know. And, they say there's between 30 and 45 serial killers operating at any given time in the United States. Yeah. But I watched a documentary, and this guy, I can't remember where he's from. It was like one of the Norwegian countries, but he was like an amateur profiler, but he was good. I mean, really good. And he was talking about the FBI numbers, and he started talking about all these cases that have been tied together. And he said, it's the FBI is lowballing this. He's like, it's easy to say that there's probably 200 to 300 serial killers operating in the United States at any given time. And that's when he was like, that means the vast majority of people are going to encounter a serial killer in their lifetime. Just how many of them will know, So these people exist, and they're walking around among us,
Well, I don't mind the serial killer so much, but Jeffrey Epstein's of the world.
Yeah.
I don't. If I ever meet somebody like Jeffrey Epstein and they just tell me everything that happened like Jeffrey Epstein didn't, I would like to think that I would probably be safe to say I'd probably make a capital offense out of that.
Yeah.
I'd go to prison for a while, but
and feel perfectly fine about it.
Yeah.
It did really have to be worth it, but there's certain things that would be worth it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way about people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pity, like you say, that you can't just stick them all in the aisle and gather up a couple of them serial killers and just let them have their way with it.
Have your heyday, buddies.
Yeah, but imagine the daddies out there who were looking for their daughters and come to find out one of the daughters was on that island. At that point, I wouldn't think twice.
No. I'm on a mission.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat, sleep, shit, piss. I'm going to do one thing, and I'm going after that person.
I'm going to Thomas, and I'll never be back. So
yeah, this is it. It's one of those things that when you become a parent yourself, that thought. It hits home when you see those news stories hit home a little bit different, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely hit different. I mean, it's when you have kids, I think it'll change. It should change your perspective on the world.
100%.
And I think I've talked about it on our show before. One of the coolest things I ever did with photography is when my daughter was, she was probably 3. I bought some disposable cameras, and I took her into downtown Denver on a Saturday or Sunday when not many people were around, and I just gave her these cameras and just said, "Hey, let's just walk around and you take pictures of things that you think are pretty or you think are cool." So we spent the afternoon doing that, and I drop them off and have them develop. You get to see the world through the perspective of a child that's that size, and they see things completely that we never see as we walk by them, so the world looks completely different to them. And I had never stopped to think about that, and I'm just like, she's just stopping. And I'm like, what is she doing? And then she would see flowers that were in a pot that I just went walking by and didn't think twice about, and I'm like, dude, I guess as adults, we really have that much on our mind that we're not taking in, what's really around us,
That's why photographers are so brilliant, because the rest of us around the world, 90% of what we look at, we're not paying attention to.
No. It's funny enough. See, I heard you told that story on your podcast, actually, the Tiddy and Shiner.
I thought so, yeah.
Show. Yeah, you did. And on the back of that, the Christmas after that, so last Christmas, I think it was, I bought my daughter a camera so that she could go and do exactly the same sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, we need to take her some other places to take some photographs, because I just don't think she has that artistic eye for it, because the stuff she was taking photographs for, that's another one of the wall. There's another one of the wall.
The inside of the fireplace.
Yeah, you kind of got to get them someplace new, so they're kind of overwhelmed by everything. So yeah, I could totally see, I got a whole photo album full of wall pictures.
Yeah.
So we have an attraction here in town. Beans, I was going to call you Gaz, and Gaz, I'm sorry you're not here. Andy, I'm sorry you're not here for your fur babies. And Gaz, not only do you have a broken collar, but I was looking at your X-ray and you got a separated AC joint too. So
it's a mess. Yeah, it's a real mess.
It's got to hurt really.
He's dying to turn this into a medical episode. He's just dying to.
How did he do this? I never got the story on how he did it.
Oh, here we go.
Well, now keep in mind, Gaz is same as me. He's 50 next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gaz is a teacher, and he teaches kids who are a little bit disadvantaged in the schooling system. So his class sizes are really small. So he took 2 kids out to a BMX track. yeah, nearly 50 years old, probably not been on a bike in maybe 10 years, decided to demonstrate how to jump a ramp to these kids.
Hey, oh shit, hang on a second, my computer's about to die.
Jesus. Plug that shit in.
Yeah.
Oh, I have no power, hang on.
Where's he at? Oh, he's scrambling. This is funny. This will be almost like the midget show.
But yeah, he's pretty. Yeah. He messed up his shoulder pretty good. It was broken. That collarbone, like you say, that's damaged. So he's in the hospital on Friday to have a discussion about these. He's going to have surgery on it.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah,
saved it.
Nice work.
Wow. Yeah, I was telling Beans, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be fun. No, it didn't go off.
Yes. Huh? I don't even remember what I was saying now.
But yeah, so if he thinks he's going to live it down, you know what I mean? He was still taking the piss out of me the other day for falling down the stairs and breaking my face. It's like, dude, not now. After you're trying to impress kids on a BMX. Hey,
but props to Gaz, because I think it was this morning, had a conversation with the nurse, and I was like, I want a skateboard. And she was like, no. I'm like, why? She's like, you have to get like training wheels on it, a wheelie bar so you don't come off the back of it. Like, I'm like,
no, you need an electric bicycle.
I can't keep my laptop charged. Like, I want to depend on my transportation by my charging habits.
Hey, Shiner, there's a USB port on the battery. You can charge your laptop from the bicycle and your phone.
But then you can only go 75 feet when you're done charging that stuff. Like, it's going to suck the battery dry.
No, so you got it backwards. You go 75 miles an hour.
Does that back go that fast?
Well, downhill.
Oh.
Otherwise, it does 22. But 22 is fast enough.
22 with your big ass on it?
22 with my big ass on it, yeah.
Wow, that's a powerful little bike.
It is. And the tires are as fat as a hat.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, they're big old fat.
Thanks, Dr. Seuss.
The fat in the hat. Wait a minute, he got canceled. Oh, speaking of which, what do you think about it? You know, woke folk are getting so woke they're canceling themselves.
Listen, I love the Cat in the Hat. My kids love the Cat in the Hat. You know, they love Dr. Seuss. Well, JJ's not too bothered about it. You know, he's only 2. He doesn't really know what's going on with it. But Matilda absolutely loves the Cat in the Hat. You know, the one with Martin Short voicing it. She loves that.
The reason they go after this stuff is, who got canceled?
Neil Young canceled himself.
Oh, yeah, dude. That whole thing. And dude, the liberals do not know what to do with Joe Rogan. like he released that video with his little response to all this, and I'm like, man, there are liberal leaders whose head are exploding right now. Like,
but this is the problem. Going back to that sort of thing. So we had a bill passed or an act passed in Parliament in 2020. So we had 2 ones that still need repealing. We've got the Coronavirus Act, which basically allows the government to pass bills, get them through quickly, with limited interference from anybody else. So they can just stick it through the Commons, bish, bash, bosh, and they can do what they want. So that one needs repealing ASAP. But the other one is the Trusted Media Act. So basically, the newspapers cannot publish anything that goes against the government's directive or their opinion on stuff. They have to share. So it's literally propaganda.
Yeah.
You know, there's no 2 ways about it. And I just think, Neil Young is guilty of that himself. Let people make up their own minds.
Well, somebody's posted the other day or yesterday, I saw it, and it said, somebody needs to remind these hippies they're the ones that told us not to trust the government, you know? I'm like, how true is that? You know, that's so true. Hypocrisy has reached a level that is just unreal in this country. Like,
yeah,
I mean, and it's just, you don't see any end to it, you know? Like, you don't like what somebody says, so you're going to throw a fit. You know, and I'll just take my music and go somewhere else. You know, well, I mean, I just don't understand why people don't agree with you, you have to react to that. Like, people don't have to agree with the things that we say on our show. Like, I'm not asking you to agree with them. No. You know, but if you want to listen to them, and if you think you got a valid argument and you want to discuss it, then contact us. I'm willing to do that. And I don't know. I'm not saying it's a high probability, but I'm open to having my mind changed about things if I hear enough evidence that I should change my mind.
And it's been done before. So
yeah. You know, and but you know, you have these people like, oh, you have a different, well, you're wrong, and you're, so that means, you know, you're wrong. So that means basically their favorite one is racist. You know, you don't agree with me, you're a racist. Like, what? Huh? You know, and but then it's okay for Biden to say, I don't know who I'm gonna nominate for the Supreme Court, but I'm gonna nominate a black female. Like, well, whoa. How about we nominate the person that's most qualified? You know, and they put up his list of nominations that he's going to choose from. Sure enough, every single one of them is a black female, and I'm like, one of them he filibustered against and voted twice for her not to be nominated. In like 2016, they said that's probably the one he's going to nominate. And I'm like, oh my God, like, we literally have a cartoon character running our country. Like, it's insane.
It's a weird world. It is a weird world that we're inhabiting right now. And I don't see it getting any less weird. It's just going to get weirder and weirder as we go on. This is just the start of things.
Well, yeah. We're already looking at exit plans just in case.
Oh, yeah. Like, the nurse and I have researched Costa Rica pretty extensively, you know, like, I mean, but, you know, that's the other thing. This isn't just localized to the, you know, the US and the UK. Like, this is all over the world, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
here in the UK, we ain't got it so bad when you look at what's going on, like Australia, New Zealand, and a few places like that.
But see, here's the crazy. You think about, you know, I know people are like conspiracy theories, this and that. Stanley Kubrick, the director, he met towards the end of his life, he met this young journalist, and he basically hired her to be his biographer. And he sat around telling her the stories of his life and his career. He told her in those interviews that he did film the first moon landing in a soundstage, and he did that because he was going to make, what was the movie he made, 2021 or 2020?
Oh yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
He made that movie.
2001.
2001.
Yeah.
He made that movie, and so he did access to NASA and all, and you know, to use for filming and stuff. So the government told him they would give him access to that if he filmed the moon landing. So, and then later I saw another documentary, and I saw Donald Rumsfeld and Henry Kissinger both openly speak on microphone about being in the office and discussing with Nixon and putting this plan together to fake the moon landing. But Kubrick told her about that, and she said that she started questioning, why would the government do that? You know? So he started explaining that, and he said, honey, this is part of a master plan they have to have a one world government. And she's like, that would never work. So he started explaining this plan. Well, a lot of these things that he told her have come to pass. Yeah. And so he said that that eventually the government would that COVID is a possibility, because he said the government would introduce a pandemic and that was to decrease the population, and it culminates in them informing us that there's an alien attack imminent. So they must unify and create this one world government to be able to defend Earth from. And I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty far-fetched, but I look at things because the U.S. Navy is now openly admitting they have evidence of UFOs. We have people that are openly talking about Area 51 and what they have there. Like,
Space Force.
Yeah. You know.
Well, that was enacted, wasn't it, by Trump, wasn't it, last time? Yeah. Well, I just kind of thought the UFO talk was just there to distract everybody from, just something else that they were doing illicit elsewhere. But, if that were the case, that would be, just imagine if that were to pan out in our lifetime. That's just ridiculous, isn't it? That is ridiculous. That's if ET was actually real.
I think about that, like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be 50 this month, and I'm like, what am I going to see in the rest of my years, And my great grandmother, when she passed away, she had seen everything from covered wagons to the first man on the moon, supposedly, so, and you think about all that she saw in her lifetime, and I'm like, we've had huge advances in areas in my lifetime, and we're making them faster and faster and faster. So how far are things going to go by the time I pass? It's just crazy to think about weird stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Then this is the thing with technology. You don't really know how they can, what they could physically introduce next. It would surprise you. You know what I mean?
And there's so much that exists that we don't have no clue about. Like I saw a deal the other day. Maybe one of you guys or both of you has seen it. It's some Navy operators. I don't know if they're SEALs or not, but a guy is on the ship and he's got these things on his forearms and he's got them on his calves, and it's literally a Rocket Man suit. And he touches that thing off and he flies from one ship to the other.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm like, what kind of shit do they have that we have no clue about, man? I mean,
we can't be trusted with stuff like that. I mean, if Gaz can't even manage a BMX, then that's good. That's fucking good stuff.
Yeah, the one thing difference between me and Gaz is there's no way I'd ever tried that.
Dude, you say that. In a certain situation, I think you could be talked into it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, if I've got a bunch of kids around, send it, sir! I mean, let me take you little fuckers over to the drag strip. I'll show you what sending it is.
The first question I asked him was, obviously, you're there with a bunch of kids. Kids today, they film everything, don't they? They look at everything through their eyes, look through their phones, like, surely, dude, someone filmed you. You slam, and it's like, no, they didn't. But that needs to turn up somewhere.
If that would have been me, it would have been shot from 4 different angles.
I'd be contacting one of those kids. I think it's easy for him to say, nah, that doesn't exist. Don't even waste your time looking for it. Like, exactly. You're barking up the wrong tree. Don't worry about it.
Hey, we're talking about a completely different thing now, because if it were me, I'm not Gaz. I'm over 300 pounds on a bicycle taking a jump. Okay, I want to watch that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm filming that already.
Well, we don't know. Gas slamming might be trending on YouTube right now. We just don't know.
Awesome. Yeah, that would be awesome. God bless him. Although I'll be dead honest, I popped around to see him on Friday. Like I say, he lives next door, and he is in a pretty bad way with his shoulder. He's popped a couple of ribs as well, but he was in pretty good spirits. But he knows he's going to get a bit of stick over this one. God bless him.
He lives next door to you?
Yeah, I guess he's my next door neighbor. Yeah.
How convenient.
I know. No, we've been, it was a coincidence as well. We've been friends for 30 years. I'm friends with him from school, and this where we live, it's like a new build estate. It was only built a few years ago, and he came down and booked his house, and we came down a few weeks later and booked ours, and it just turned out that they were right next door to each other. We knew we were going to be living on the same housing estate, but didn't realize at the time that we were going to be neighbors. So yeah, pretty good.
That's cool.
Well, that is cool.
Yeah,
that makes recording easy.
It does. Although most of the time, we do it via just via Skype, just for ease. Well, this has been like the longest introduction we've ever done to the show, I think. To be fair, with a few left in between. But one of the things I wanted to mention to you guys as well, because you guys were on 12 months ago. It's literally 12 months, virtually to the day since we last had you on. Because we talked about the NFL a little bit then. And this year we were get my prediction for the Super Bowl this year was, I forgot. Gaz's was the Bills. I can't remember who I said now. It's completely gone. But anyway, they're not there. They're not there. They got knocked out. So Bengals Rams then. Who you taking in the Super Bowl? And
I'm taking the Rams. I think their quarterback is going to be a little more steady in the game. Joe Burrow's a good quarterback. I mean, don't get me wrong, but
he is.
I think either Joe Burrow has just turned it on and this is his time, or he just got really lucky. I'm not sure which it is. I'm just waiting for Green Bay to trade Aaron Rodgers to Chicago for some draft picks.
I don't see that one happening. I don't see that. Yeah. I mean, one of the places where he's rumored likely to land is Pittsburgh, and I don't see that happening either. If I'm really honest.
I don't see that happening.
No,
I actually do, because he's got what, maybe 1, maybe 2 years left in him.
I think he needs to retire.
But that'll give Pittsburgh a chance to find another quarterback. Yeah, I mean, you got Jalen Hurts, or not Jalen Hurts, but what's his name?
Dude. Well, we've got, first of all, we've got Mason Rudolph, and he ain't the guy. Yeah, so he's not the guy. And then we've got, dude, I forgot his name. I can't even bother to Google it either. But yeah, we brought him in, didn't we? And I know it's gone.
But he's going to be a Roethlisberger. So
yeah, no. Listen, there's never going to be another Roethlisberger. There's never going to be. He did it a little bit differently, the hits he took. But no, we haven't got the guys. We haven't got the guys there. Whoever's going to be our next quarterback, he's not on the stars right now. So I know we like this Kenny Pickett guy. I know I see him going elsewhere, because we're not going to get that high of a draft pick to pick up someone like him. I think he'll go before then. But one of the other rumors I heard was Rodgers to the Browns and Mayfield to the Steelers. And I don't know how you guys would feel about that. I think I'd like to see
Mayfield, or I'd like to see Mayfield at Green Bay.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I bet.
I think it's great there.
I can see him doing well in that offense.
Yeah.
Not Pittsburgh's offense.
No, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work to be done, and God bless Big Ben, 18 years and never had a losing season. Next year I suspect is going to be the first one for Tomlin as well.
Well, I think the only one he really had a bad time in was when he wrecked his sport bike.
Yeah.
And had to take some time off for that. But other than that, you're right. He's been. They've made it to at least the wild card playoffs.
Yeah, you can't knock him. You can't knock him any year. So what about yourself, Shiner? Who you picking?
I'm gonna go with the Rams, and for no reason. I have no scientific reason behind this. I just hate the Bengals.
Yeah. Well, I hate the Bengals because you're in the AFC North. So I'm picking the Rams. I'm picking the Rams as well. Oh. So, the other thing that I wanted to mention then is another famous Okie who's been in the news a little bit recently, a certain Joe Exotic. Have you seen it? You seen his resentencing?
Yeah. He
knocked 365 off of it.
Yeah. That is taking the piss out of him royally, isn't it?
Dude, I mean, you talk about
for that court case when they handed down that verdict. So
disrespectful, dude. That judge just did him disrespectfully. Like
it was a rough.
And the crazy thing is, Beans, you've seen the second Joe Exotic series, right?
Yeah.
So the crazy thing is, their star witness that testified for them, for the prosecution, has now come up and said, I perjured myself. None of that's true. And they based the conviction on these guys' words, and they still got Joe locked up. Like,
I find it utterly bizarre. For me, it is the most compelling TV series I have seen ever. Because literally, you watch that first series, and you're thinking, oh, this can't get any crazier. This can't get any crazier. Then the next episode fires up. What the fuck is this guy doing now?
The bad thing is, people watch that and they assume that's just all of Oklahoma. Like that's everybody's like that.
Yeah.
We're like
Oklahoma.
No, we're like, no, we think they're weird too. Like, but
we don't have big game cats in our yard now.
We could. It doesn't seem like it's very hard to get one. I mean,
it doesn't seem that hard.
That's I went through a deal that I was like seriously wanting to get a capuchin monkey. Like I was convinced of it. And like when we make the move from the city to the country, I mean, I was like, hey, I'm getting a capuchin monkey. I'm going to get it a car seat. It's going to ride in the truck into town with me. Like, I was just convinced of this. And then I saw a picture of a woman that was attacked by a capuchin monkey, and it just ripped her face off. And I'm like, I mean, I know there was that big story where the chimpanzee, ripped the lady's face off and they reconstruct, gave her a fake face. But this is a little tiny capuchin monkey, and it fucked that lady up. And I'm like, I need to reconsider this.
About me getting pelted with monkey shit.
Well, see, and then what am I going to do with that monkey if you come to hang out? Like, you're going to be.
I would come to hang out. There would be no hanging, except for the monkey.
I do. You might not know this story, but there is a town in England called, and then their football team, I think is it Hartlepool? They're called the Monkey Hangers. Because I forget what it was. I want to say the Second World War. I think it was before that. But they hung a monkey on the presumption that it was a French spy. And now, listen,
that's a true story.
That's a true story.
That's something that we would do.
That's awesome. Yeah. Like, hey, we got a mole. Who is it? Like, the only one we can't clear is the monkey. Get him.
Fred the monkey. Fred.
Yeah, I got this. Like, damn monkey. Like, was that common back then? Were they using primates as spies?
I don't think they'd be particularly reliable.
Is it okay?
I've got a long history of being double agents. Like,
you pay for capital punishment on monkeys?
Dude, I saw a video on ridiculousness, and it looked like it was like in India or someplace. And there's people on this dirt road, and there's probably 8 or 10, maybe 12 little scooters, and they're all these people are stopped. And finally, one of them, he edges his way out there and takes off down the road, and all these little like capuchin monkey looking dudes come running across the road, and now all of them on the scooters are just riding for their lives, like I'm like, and this little tiny monkey reaches out and grabs one of them by the ankle and just jerks him off of that thing. I'm like, yeah, now they got crazy primate strength. And but there's a way that you saw this video, you were like, is this like a daily occurrence? These people act like they knew this was going to happen,
My dad lived in India for about 10, 15 years, and he knew unlike Big Tiddy not to fuck with monkeys.
Yeah. Well, and then there's a classic video of that monkey on that motorcycle, and he rides up and tries to steal that child.
Yeah.
And nobody freaked out. Like, everybody just kind of was like, oh, monkey got another one, like.
But the funny part is, at the end of the story, the monkey runs off with the baby, but Shiner and I are like, did you see that monkey on a sport bike? Did you see that monkey on a sport bike? No mention of the baby being carried away.
But you can tell from that video, everybody's reaction. That just must be a daily occurrence.
I know. It didn't raise anybody's heartbeat. I mean, everybody was just like, oh. And that kid wasn't even crying. She like gets up and is like walking back up the street.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah. Dusting herself off. Dang it.
Yeah, pretty soon there's going to be a gang of monkeys on miniature Harleys dragging kids away.
Well, if it's that common, why aren't the parents like making a rule that the kids can't sit on the front step? Like, hey, I can put a stop to this.
Yeah. Just going back to Joe Exotic then, just for a little bit. I checked my monkey somehow. Have you seen the episode? They've done another series then about Doc Antle, the guy who sort of featured in the first.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, dude.
He's a trippy dude. Like he's
worse than trippy. Yeah,
he's a weird cat, man. I mean,
so he's the guy who's riding around on the elephant, bare chested,
and has like the harem of women. He's a strange cat.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah, he is. There's a couple of episodes on that guy as well. So you want to check that out on Netflix.
I'm only 2 episodes in on the second one.
Oh yeah.
That's
I can't get into it because it's like for me it's like same shit different day.
I found it a very different story. The first one, don't get me wrong, there's some serious undertones there, because we are talking about potential like murder for hire kind of situation.
Yeah.
but it was entertaining all the way through. There is something that's just a little bit funny about it. The second one, it was actually really sinister when you're getting into the stuff like Carol Baskin's ex-husband and the kind of stuff that he was pulling as to why, they're looking into the reasons why somebody would actually want to kill him. And then you like, see, you go down, you want to watch the Doc Antle one as well. Because
you don't have to look hard to figure out why somebody wants that guy dead. I mean,
no.
Not at all. But I mean, it's amazing to me. It holds my attention because I can't believe that there's like a subculture and there's so many like diabolically sinister people involved in that subculture.
Yeah.
Like there's not a person in there that's not shady as hell. Like,
but those people give up their money for the cause, right? You got this Joe Exotic jet showing up with a Joe Exotic limo to get him out of prison because Trump's going to sign the document that gets him out of prison, and it doesn't happen. And I thought, boy, what a letdown that would have been. I would have. What was going through his mind when he the president doesn't sign the order? And I knew it wouldn't happen, and 300 other million Americans knew it wasn't going to happen. But Joe Exotic,
he must have believed.
But he believed.
Dude, he threw a fit because he instantly said he was too gay for Trump to pardon.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Well, he said he was too gay for prison.
Yeah.
Nobody wants me.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
That's not because you're that gay, okay? It has nothing to do with the gay thing, Joe. You are batshit crazy.
You know, and Joe's got the mullet of mullets, man. I mean, he's got a world champion mullet. And I'm like, how does this happen? How does it become 2022? And we got this cat rolling around still with a mullet. Like, I mean, people started cutting the back of their hair how many years ago? And that dude got out of bed one day and said, not me. Not me. When I found this look, I knew it was my look. Like,
his music videos are the best.
Oh, my
dude.
Word. Yeah. Well, that was part of the best part. One of the best bits from series one were those music videos. Fun enough though with the mullet thing though, I took my little lad Jacob to have his hair cut the other day, and he hates that experience. We had to have two barbers, one to cut his hair and one to mop his tears because he hates having his hair cut. And there was one part that the guy, we took him to a new barber's and he did all the top and he did the sides, and there was a bit left at the back, and there was a little bit of me that thought, yeah, just leave that. And I thought, no, I can't. My wife's gonna kill me.
That'd be awesome.
If I could pull a mullet off, I would. But
you know the little towns around Tulsa. Like every once in a while, you'll go to one of the little surrounding towns, little country towns, and you'll go in the convenience store, and there'll be like a 3-year-old little kid in there with a mullet that's just past his shoulders, and you're like, dude, they're just not letting it go, and you're like, that kid's got a prison number in his future. He's gonna catch a case. Like, I mean, just
one of the drag racing guys that I hang around with, his son, his name's Aiden Ellington. He had a mullet down to the middle of his back.
Wow.
And short up top, and then it just started getting longer and longer and longer. I mean, it's a typical mullet. They recently cut it off. And there are legions of people, because they have a pretty good YouTube channel, and they feature their drag racing stuff on there, and there are legions of people on the YouTube channel like, well, where's the mullet? What the hell? What the hell?
Well, man, that's when something becomes your deal, like people do kind of flip out a little bit when you change something,
Yeah, that's why I have to keep bald, you know what I mean? If I grew a full head of hair and grew, people wouldn't know who I was.
Do you grow a fro? Are you real curly?
I am real curly, yeah. Not anymore, obviously, you know what I mean? Most of this isn't through choice anymore. I could grow it at the back, and that'd be pretty much the only place it would grow.
But the 13 hairs that are left are curly, right?
Oh, yeah. And gray as you like.
And you got a great beard game. Shiner's he's always had epic beard game. And then here I am, and it's just patches. That's all patches.
I grew one over Christmas because I said to Andy before, because we had a 4 or 5 week break over Christmas and recorded the podcast. So I was clean shaven. I sort of said, wouldn't it be funny if for 4 or 5 weeks I grew a beard? So literally we were releasing a week after week. So one week I was cleanly shaven, then the next week I had this big old grey beard. And then it got to the point, and I grew it, and then about 3 days before it was driving me mad. And literally I look so old. I look so old because it was just a white beard. Yeah, it's too much. Even tonight, I haven't had a shave in a couple of days, but yeah, it's gonna have to get trimmed down, right down, because it's just too, it makes me look too old.
Let's make a deal. Next time we do this podcast, everybody has to have a Fu Manchu.
Okay,
Well,
I'm in.
I would, and I've grown a mustache. My wife hates it when I grow a mustache.
What's even females do? Females hate mustaches.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but bring it up every now and then, and the nurse is like, "No,
just grow the beard, and then right before the podcast."
Yeah, I will. Well, I did it because when I shaved the beard off, literally, I was like, right, I was going out to pick up my son pick up my daughter, from school, and I came back in. His big Hulk Hogan tashes. He's like, upstairs now. Okay.
You know,
say no. I'm in 1883. I ain't going nowhere.
Aaron
okay,
Rodgers,
brother.
he did one for a while, and Aaron's looked. I'm not saying it looked menacing, but he's in one of those State Farm commercials, and he looks like a freaking hobo. I mean, his hair's just all unkempt. He's got that Fu Manchu on his face. It was a good one too, but dude, he looked like he was homeless.
Everybody's got their thing, bro.
Yeah.
Do you not watch that commercial? I looked at it, I was like, God,
he identifies as a homeless person.
and an incredible football player too.
Absolutely. So we like to keep these episodes to around about an hour, so we'll wrap it up. I'm not entirely sure what we talked about or how I'm going to write the synopsis for this one, but there you go. So do you guys want to say your goodbyes? Because you're due, aren't you? Like a big storm in Oklahoma, did I read on your feeds earlier?
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick for 30 seconds. We're going to get about 10 inches of snow from what they say, and possibly a half inch of ice underneath it. So,
all right, it's going to be pretty dangerous then, yeah? So
it could get crazy.
Is that going to keep you guys? Is that going to keep you out of work then, Tiddy, or are you going to fight your way through that?
This is why I have an office at home.
There you go. Fair play. So, before that storm takes out the internet, who wants to say their goodbyes first?
I'll go first because Shiner's always better than me at closing out something. I'll close this out just like I do on the Tiddy and Shiner show, which we are on Spotify, and we haven't canceled yet. So, but my name is Big Tiddy, and I'll see you later. Love you. Bye.
And you guys get out there, kick the day in the ass, leave your mark on the world. Shiner.
There you go. I can't top that, so just do what he said.